Well, we haven't had any doom or fear weather stories in a few days. I guess it's time for NOAA to release its hurricane season predictions. Let me guess, just like every year, it'll be the most active hurricane season ever with more than 20 named storms. Ah! Run for your life, we're all gonna die! Blah, blah, blah. We've been hearing this for decades. Some years are bad, and some barely have any storms at all. It's nothing to lose your head about. This year, the flavor of fear is the dreaded La Nina system that makes hurricanes a little stronger and a little more frequent. The weather phenomenon known as La Nina helps to fuel tropical development by cutting down on the amount of wind shear across the western Atlantic. High wind shear can disorganize the structure of tropical systems, weakening them or destroying them outright. Increases in tropical storms usually start around August, so we're just in time. Hurricane season happens every year. Starts around August and usually winds down around October, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little longer, but that's the average range. So let's play devil's advocate for just a minute, and we can make this fun. Let's pretend there's a big storm heading to Florida. Central Florida, to make it interesting. Cape Canaveral, heading to Orlando. This is basically what think tanks do for a living, but they get paid by governments or corporations to provide the results they're seeking. I will do it for free, with the request that if you like the results, give a like and subscribe. Okay, big hurricane, maybe a Category 3, that's 111 to 129 miles per hour sustained winds. The news comes and you have about 5 days to plan or evacuate. The early planners start buying plywood sheets and boarding up windows. Lumber prices are still inflated, so plan on spending a few hundred, maybe $1,000 to get them home and maybe a day or so installing them. But you're good to go and you're ready to ride it out. Get your cars full of fuel, buy some extra groceries, no big deal. So several days go by and a few more people start prepping, but the locals who've been there for years are, well, they're kind of bored with hurricane stories. So they just ignore the warnings. So 2 days before landfall, and then it suddenly changes directions. It's now headed for Miami. This happens all the time. And now a heavily populated city is scrambling to prepare for a major hurricane. And they only have about 36 hours. So lumber sells out very quickly. Plus, it's nearly impossible to board up a high-rise condo on the beach. And beachfront mansions are known for having huge glass walls facing the ocean so they can see the sunrise. Well, the lumber is sold out, and there's not enough time to get more shipped to Miami, so people start to panic. Now, CNN and the Weather Channel have ramped up the news to 11. Worst storm ever, catastrophic winds, ooh, scary stuff. So the storm is 1 day away, and the surf is already starting to rise on the beaches. It always seems to play out the same way. Herd mentality. Everyone decides at the exact same moment they need to pack up and leave now. Drive north as fast as possible. Make a hotel reservation in Atlanta or Jacksonville and wait it out for a few days. So everyone rushes to local gas stations. The wait is an hour or so to get gas. The Tesla owners are laughing. Ha ha, stupid gas pumps. Look at me, I don't need gas. I can just get in and go. Well, that's true. So you hit the highway, and it looks like this. Your range of 100 to 150 miles is woefully inadequate when you are sitting in traffic for 4 hours, and you only go 20 miles. Suddenly, you have less than 50 miles of range, and you're barely out of town. No problem. There's a supercharger at the next exit. Oh crap, 20 people are waiting in line already, and they each need 1 hour to charge before they can leave. You're kind of screwed, and you're nowhere even close to being far enough away from where the storm makes landfall. So electric cars are nice. They have some cool features. And they are stupid fast. But they're not very practical, and if that's your only vehicle, it is almost useless in an emergency situation. I'm not saying I have the perfect solution, but my old SUV with a trailer hitch can get out of town with no problems at all. I can drive over small obstacles, and I have 3 5-gallon gas cans in the back. My range is a little over 700 miles, and I can get more gas almost anywhere. So I was living in Florida during Hurricane Andrew in 1992. I was almost 400 miles from the point of landfall, and we were without power for 9 days. If you have an electric car, it'll be about as useful as ice skates on a pig. I know they are pushing electric cars as hard as they can, but if you're depending on one to save your life, you better have some type of backup plan. Or be the very first to get out of town the moment you hear an emergency alert. You'll need to be about 100 miles ahead of everyone else so you don't get caught up in that charging frenzy. But the same limitations are in effect for wildfires out west, for blizzards up north, floods in the Pacific Northeast, and tornadoes in the Midwest. EVs are crap for emergencies. So, does this make sense to you? What do you think about escaping an emergency in an EV? Would you try it? Let me know what you're thinking below.